Welcome back to Jayhawk Jukebox, everybody. I'm Zach.
And I'm Anna.
And we're coming at you with another segment of this Song of the Week. So Anna, what's your song this week?
I picked Sidelines by Bruce Hornsby featuring Blake Mills on guitar with Ezra Koenig as duet vocals. And it came out last Friday, and so it's fairly new song.
Brand new.
Yeah, brand new.
Yeah.
And it's the first track off of Bruce Hornsby's new album called Flicted, which is a part of this 3-album trilogy that he's been doing. It's the completion of it, where he made a whole bunch of music with writer and director Spike Lee. And so it's unused music from it. And the song is about hysteria, and it starts with the Salem witch trials, and then it goes to conspiracy theories, and then ends with the pandemic. And so I just thought it was a really interesting song.
Yeah, it is very interesting. It's honestly nothing that I've ever heard. It was something new and fresh. I think my favorite part about it was the chorus. I think it has that slow beat, and then the chorus, it just starts picking up. And honestly, I didn't know what the song was about, so I'm glad you explained it a little bit. I was a little lost, and I had to listen to it a few times, follow the lyrics. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good song. That's something I would listen to on a regular basis, even though it's not my style.
Yeah. It's funny because Bruce Hornsby talked about how the middle section is very it says pointillistic, which is kind of that painting drawing where it's point. So anyway, what about your song?
Yeah, so this week I picked Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes in honor of the Final Four this weekend. Obviously that's a song heard by everybody. It's huge in the basketball scene, and it's something that I used to listen to with my dad on the way to rec games, and so it just gets me pumped up in the mood for basketball. And so yeah, it's just one of the classics that I always got on my playlist ready to go whenever I need to get pumped up.
I would say it's used a lot in sports, and it's just I don't know, that beginning guitar is just very iconic.
Yes. Yeah, some would say it's overused. Not me though. I personally like it. I mean,
you can never overuse.
I think that overtook "We Will Rock You" in the sports scene.
Oh really?
As far as I remember.
Yeah.
I think that's what it transitioned from. But yeah, it's just one of my favorite songs, probably of all time, and it never gets old, like I said. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So once we come back from break, we got a special interview with the band World Engine.
Jayhawk Jukebox. My name is Audrey, and I am here with Brian, Robbie, Zach, and Alex of World Engine. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
Very good. Awesome,
Glad to be here.
Awesome. So I just want to start off just telling everyone where you're from, what year you are, your major, and what instrument you play in the band. So,
Guess I'll start. Or Brian can start.
Okay, yeah, I graduated from business school. I did a bachelor in business administration, and I play bass.
Awesome. Perfect. And where you're from?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Yeah. Awesome.
I'm from New Jersey. I play the drums. I'm a senior, and yeah.
What's your
Major?
Oh, major environmental studies. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm Zach. I'm a senior in business administration. I'll graduate this spring. I play the guitar.
I'm Robbie. I am a senior as well, and I'm an English major.
Awesome, awesome. So how did you guys all meet and form your band?
Well, we lived in the dorms together our freshman year, and it kind of just took off after we became really good friends. We ended up meeting Brian a little while later after that, but we kind of just picked up instruments, started making music together.
I've been playing drums my whole life, and then they knew I played drums when they met me. So then they're like, we might as well pick up a guitar and mic, and it just worked out really well.
Best way to form a band.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So you already said how did you all get into music and performing in general?
I've been playing drums since I was
Yeah.
like young.
Yeah.
So it's just always been there. Like my dad influenced me a lot, just based on what I listened to, and yeah.
I'm the same way. I grew up just with the old rock kind of stuff. My dad loved it, and my dad was a guitar player in a touring band when he was young, so it just kind of transferred onto me, and then just keep it going.
To me, I started playing guitar when I was 13, and when I was 15, I started playing bass.
Awesome.
I didn't stop.
Yeah.
I've been in choir since I was really young.
I'm a
So,
choir kid as well.
Yeah.
Choir was awesome.
Then I started yelling for them.
Yeah. So who are your guys' like influences for your music? And
There's a whole bunch.
There's-
It's
yeah.
hard to name them all, but
Yeah.
you know, to name a few, I'd say we got Cage the Elephant. We like the alternative scene, but we also like some heavier stuff. Alice in Chains. We love to play Black Sabbath, stuff like that.
Some Rush, throw some Rush and Van Halen in there.
Nice.
Some Metallica every now and then.
Yeah.
Yes,
Alice in
yes.
Chains.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of Alice in
Awesome
Chains.
people. Yeah, all over though for sure.
Yeah. And so you guys also just released a song called The March,
Yes.
which is awesome, by the way. You guys will get a sneak peek of it after this interview.
Awesome.
Can you guys tell me that process a little bit on making the music, all that?
Yeah, it kind of started, well, actually, we had a lot of time to kind of just sit and write songs when the pandemic hit. We formed in late 2019, and so if you know the timeline over the last 3 years, that's right before COVID hit, so we didn't really get to take the band anywhere live. So basically, I just sat in our basement, and I wrote a bunch of the music for the songs, and then what normally happens for most songs is I'll write the music, I'll bring it to Alex, and he'll put in some kind of crazy drum
Cool
beat,
drum.
and then Robbie or I will have some kind of lyrical idea where we start, and then we'll kind of build off each other until the song comes together, and Brian always adds some cool bass stuff
Yeah.
when all that's done, and that's the song.
That's awesome. And what other like artists do you guys like to cover, since you guys only have one song out right now?
We
And-
do have like 4 or 5 songs that just aren't recorded yet, so we do
Oh,
play
fun.
mostly originals. But we play a lot of Alice in Chains, like we said,
Yeah.
Metallica and stuff like that. Rush, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
We've been doing Cage the Elephant and stuff recently,
I do
trying
love
to
Cage the
diversify
Elephant.
a little
They're awesome.
bit. Yeah.
They're so good.
We
They're
obviously
so
have
good.
to do Santeria. I'm
Oh
sure
yeah,
in
Yes.
college.
always,
For sure.
of course, you have to. And now you guys have a new song coming out.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that song?
Yeah, that'll be April 8th.
April
So
8th,
yeah,
everyone.
mark your calendars for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Damage. It's gonna be a little heavier than the March, which you're about to hear, but hopefully you like it
awesome.
as well.
Way heavier.
And longer, like times 2.
Awesome.
6
That'll be
minutes.
so fun.
Yeah.
And then last question I have for you guys: what are you guys doing after graduation? I know you already graduated, but what are you up to, and what are you guys doing after graduation? Especially with the band too.
It's honestly a great question. Like
Yeah.
we're not planners.
Who is honestly right now? Like, I'm a
Yeah.
senior too.
We
Like, gosh.
want to keep doing amazing music to the people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just spend the summer recording as much as possible.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we've been
Sure.
looking into maybe making the move to Nashville and try and get a little
Oh.
bigger audience.
That would be
yeah,
so fun.
Doing some scouting. We'll see how
Yeah,
that goes.
that's a great
Yeah.
music area
Yeah,
too.
it definitely is. It's really
Definitely.
exploding nowadays too.
Awesome. Cool. And do you guys want to let them know your Instagram or any other socials to follow you guys on?
Yeah.
Follow us everywhere at World Engine Band. That's all one word. And YouTube, we post a lot of covers and stuff, but also originals and live shows. So check us out on YouTube. Other than that, check
Apple
out
Music
our
and
song.
Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Apple Music,
Spotify.
mostly.
Spotify.
April
Lots
8th.
of music coming soon.
Awesome, awesome. Well, here is now their song, The March.
not hear it at first, but it's there. Our chant, rising. On this summit, callings converge, voices unify into a chorus that sounds out for good, for greatness. Can you hear it?
Welcome back, Jayhawks. My name is John.
And I'm Taylor.
And we're going to be talking about the Grammys. They're coming up this Sunday, and the nominations were released, like weeks ago, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, maybe a month ago.
Got you. So
Yeah.
let's start with Record of the Year. What's
Okay,
after that?
so for Record of the Year, I put down the song Happier Than Ever by Billie Eilish. I also thought that maybe this would win Album of the Year, but I thought maybe for Song of the Year, something different would win, because looking through the nominations, I remembered that there's a different category for Song of the Year and Record of the Year.
Yeah.
Which has always been really confusing, but apparently Song of the Year is like a songwriting category. Record of the Year is more about the production and the song as a whole. So I think that maybe
Cool.
something with better songwriting will win that category, but for Record of the Year, that's what I picked.
Happier Than Ever.
Yep.
I love Billie. I hope, okay. Because she swept last time,
Yes.
and I was like,
Yeah.
dang, like I was really offended because I love Ariana. She put a good project out, Thank You Next. But
Yeah.
for Record of the Year, I chose Driver's License.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was just like, it was just so popular.
Yeah.
Everyone was like vibing with it. So I was like, yeah, I think for songwriting, as you put it as that, I didn't think about it. I guess I didn't listen to it like that, but I think like I like the whole
Yeah.
metaphors of the whole album. So I think
Yeah.
Record of the Year. Could
I
go to
almost
that.
put that just because it was so big, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just love Billie, so.
Yeah, I got you. For what did you put for? Do you have Album of the Year?
I have, scrolling through the list, I almost put album, but then I looked at alternative music album, just because that's more my style of music. And so I put Jubilee by Japanese Breakfast, and they also have a best new artist category. I thought maybe they would win for that too. So that was my pick, and I just love Japanese Breakfast as an artist in general. But also Arlo Parks is nominated in both those categories. I think they might win. Who knows?
I was
But
gonna say Arlo Parks. Is he R&B?
Yeah,
I've
kind
heard
of.
Arlo.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha. I chose like in the kind of my range is kind of the R&B range.
Yeah.
So for best R&B song, I saw Good Days was on there, and I was like, that's kind of been like definitely
Yeah.
iconic. And
I think
like,
I saw that too, and there wasn't really anything else notable in the category.
Yeah.
At least to me, so I
Yeah.
thought that would win.
Yeah, there's like back in my mind her and like a couple others, but
Yeah.
like I said, like Driver's License, Good Days was kind of like on the radio
Yes.
every day. Everyone was expecting a good day. It was in the tweets, so yeah, definitely a Good Day by SZA. Would you? Oh, for Album of the Year, you said you put the.
Yeah, I also put Happier Than Ever for that, just because I'm not sure if it'll necessarily happen, just because she did have such a big year last year, but I don't know. I feel like she's still kind of riding that wave. I don't think this album was near as popular as her past two albums, but I don't know. I just kind of see it for her, and I just love her, so I can't not say it.
I put Donda because, like I said, there was a lot of controversy behind that. It was, I don't know, it's Kanye. He hasn't produced or put out a lot in a long time. So, or I guess Jesus is King. But like Donda was like, it was Donda versus CLB. I don't know, did you see CLB on there?
No, I don't think so.
That sucks. Oh, I think he pulled out. I just thought about that. He pulled out of the,
I think it was like at the same time. There was something that happened. I also saw that Evermore was Album of the Year by Taylor Swift, was nominated, and I remember there being some kind of thing that happened where that and something else got nominated or later than the rest of the nominations. So it might have been around that time he pulled out, or Donda got nominated late or something like that. I'm not quite sure,
yeah. But I'm gonna say Donda for our Album of the Year. Also, cause like, I think he needs it at this point. You know, poor Kim, poor him. Yeah, that'll be good for him.
And then one of the other random things that I just put down was that I thought maybe the score for Dune would win Best Score Soundtrack for Visual Media, because it just won Best Score at the Oscars last Sunday. and it's Hans Zimmer, who is like one of the most famous movie score like producers of all time, and I just like to see that not win is just, and I think maybe other things like, I don't know if it's like Encanto and other things like that. I just, they didn't seem up to par with the Dune score, and I just love Dune so much. Like, I don't know.
It's a big lead too, especially with the Oscars last, because they won like 6.
Yeah, it won like
categories.
The most categories this year, I think, out of everything that won. So
I could definitely see Dune taking the lead for that one for sure. What did you say for best new artist? Did you put that?
I put I put Japanese Breakfast for that one, and then maybe Arlo Parks. I don't really remember who else was nominated, but those are the two that stood out to me the most.
I put Olivia Rodrigo just because she was doing so many numbers.
I guess I maybe saw her on there, but I just kind of, because she is like so big for how new she is, but I guess it's just we're all so used to her being like mainstream at this point that I kind of forgot she was new. Yeah. So, but I definitely, now that you say that, I can see her winning that.
I think the Academy's gonna be like, oh, like the kids loved her.
Yeah.
So let's put her down and everything.
And then I also just put honorable mention to All Eyes on Me by Bo Burnham for best song written for visual media, just because he had such a big year with that so far that I just really want him to win. I don't know if he will, but I just love that movie so much. So.
Well, awesome. Well, that wraps up our Grammy nominations. I guess we'll see. And we'll see you on our next segment.
In 2018, 22 billion water bottles ended up in a landfill. A smart way to prevent waste is by using a reusable water bottle. A reusable water bottle is an easy way to have water without using plastic. A reusable water bottle is an alternative with many benefits. Some benefits include saving money, durability, and helping the environment. Staying hydrated is important, so you might as well save the environment and your pocket while doing so.
Welcome to This Week in Metal Music, a segment where we look back on events throughout the history of metal music. I'm Zach.
And I'm Cameron. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, heavy metal was born, featuring bands like Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, and Deep Purple.
In 1978, Van Halen released their self-titled debut album. This began the Los Angeles and Sunset Strip scene, where many bands came out of this era, including Motley Crue and Quiet Riot.
In 1979, Ozzy Osbourne was fired from Black Sabbath due to drug and alcohol problems and was replaced by Ronnie James Dio. Fortunately, Osbourne had a successful solo career.
In 1981, Venom released their first album, Welcome to Hell, beginning the new wave of British heavy metal.
In 1983, Queensryche released their self-titled debut album. They are considered the first progressive metal band combining progressive rock and heavy metal.
In 1984, Def Leppard's Rick Allen lost an arm in a car accident while attempting to pass an Alfa Romeo on a winding country road near Sheffield, England. Allen painfully relearned to play on a professional level with only 3 limbs.
In 1986, Motorhead were in the Guinness Book of World Records as one of the loudest bands. They were measured at 130 decibels, and the music was so loud the vibrations cracked the ceiling and plaster came down on the crowd. The power had to be cut to stop the band from continuing to play.
In 1994, Korn released their self-titled debut album, helping begin the genre of nu metal. Other bands like Limp Bizkit would popularize the genre in the late 90s and early 2000s.
In 1996, Ozfest began. The traveling summer metal tour was started by Ozzy Osbourne. The first year included bands like Slayer, Danzig, Sepultura, Fear Factory, and of course Ozzy.
In 2000, the band Disturbed released Down with the Sickness, which became their best-known song and is a concert staple, usually played as the last song.
And that concludes This Week in Metal Music. Be sure to tune in next week at 4:30 and follow us on our socials, on Twitter at Jayhawk_Jukebox and our Instagram at JayhawkJukebox.
Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.